Are you waiting for me to talk?
Was it recording? I didn't see the thing. I was.
It is
reading the
recording
doc.
now. We're professionals.
We're super
Look at
professional.
us.
How are you doing, John?
I'm doing fine.
This is getting to market where the roles are real, but the job is real. The job is real. Both the roles and the job. I mean, they're real.
There's roles and
but
jobs.
One of them is negotiable.
And you got one. Yep.
Yeah.
Good job.
Wow, we're really off to a great start. Glad it's Friday. Is that moonshine or water?
So that's funny because I was going to ask you, every time I drink out of this, someone makes a comment, is this moonshine or water?
Yeah.
I'm a pretty practical person all in all. It's water. It's moonshine. Yeah. And I think mason jars are the cheapest and most indestructible drinking tool container that you can find. This is better than anything else you can find. And my kids, they're not particularly destructive, but
Destructive. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Microplastics in that, so that's kind of a downside of those.
That's true.
So do you just mix those in after you pour the water?
Yeah. I buy
the microplastics in and then add water.
Yeah. My local CVS has little bags of microplastics. You can just get them.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. You got back from a trip recently, which is you went on a bicycle journey. You do a thing. I was going to ask you about this. We don't pre-script this, obviously, so maybe you don't want to talk about this. You do a thing that I do not do, which is you say, you and I have been texting a fair amount lately because of work and other things, where you say, I'm going dark, and you have no... You are not expecting to respond to any messages during whatever that period is.
Yeah.
I will say I don't do that. I always have my phone on. I'm always, whatever. But do you tell that to other people? Or there are certain people, I am on a list of people you just have no interest of talking to for a period of time.
It's really funny that you say that. Yeah, keep going.
Well, I ask you that because I don't know if you're in this position, but I have older parents, and there's a I don't know if you actually turn off your phone. I'd imagine you don't, but where I kind of feel like I need to be reachable all the time, and so it is I guess they could think of it as I might be dark, or maybe they're not trying to reach out for fear of bothering me or something, but I don't tell that to people. Is that you turn off your phone when you go dark?
That's so funny. Okay, so no, I don't turn off my phone, but I do go on airplane mode. I do tell other people, hey, I'm going dark, and I think it's because generally speaking, people have this expectation that if I text relatively quickly, I'll get a response back. And so, especially if we're in a conversation, which a lot of times, not a lot of times, but at least this time we were kind of chatting about stuff we had to do and whatever. And so then if I just fall off the map, you might be like, well, dude, then 2 days later, what is that all about? So I try to be a little explicit about it. But, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that's funny because I don't have that I guess maybe just because almost everybody I talk to has kids, and so when somebody just stops talking, I'm sure they've got other shit to do. So but airplane mode that's a choice. How are you reachable then? Just you make your wife leave her phone on?
Well, so this trip in particular, I've done both. But this trip in particular, we didn't actually have cell phone signal. So this is me and a couple good buddies. We've done this a bunch of times. We'll just go bike and go off in the woods, and a part of it is explicitly disconnecting.
Yes.
And so
now you have told me explicitly that this is not a militia. Is that still true?
Well, it sometimes felt like a militia. But I have been places. I'm more and more trying to go places without my phone and just leave it at home. And there are situations where I'll be with my wife and she'll keep her phone, and I'll just depend on her to
she's responsible.
You're the responsible one here. But it is funny. So we do this. We do camping weekends, which we do. We're relatively outdoorsy, so we'll go camping. But we'll also just schedule out camping weekends on our calendars, so that we don't overbook ourselves. But we explicitly, this is code now. Our secret's out. We might not actually go camping. We might not be anywhere. We just don't. Then if you're like, hey, dude, you want to get together this week? Oh, bummer, I can't. I'm going camping. Instead of just being explicit, like, no, I don't want to because I'm going to hang out at home and I need time away for whatever reason. I don't have the.
You're saying your social calendar is so sought after, you have to lie to people so as not to hurt all of these people's feelings. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Popular, I get it.
That's a good way to think about it.
I saw this thing. Maybe you'll be interested in it. It's a thing that holds like an Apple Watch that makes it like more of a rectangular kind of candy bar form factor. And then you basically use that, like you buy one that's, I think this is for the Ultra. You buy one that's cellular enabled so that you can basically just use this as like a basic phone. So you're not lugging around your smartphone. And that to me is kind of like, I could get more on board for that than your airplane mode thing.
Wait, so you take the band off the watch and you just stick it in a form factor?
You stick it in this little form factor, and then you just use that as your phone because it can do all of the critical phone things, but none
That's
of the
kind of clever.
distractions. Yeah.
Huh. As someone who today bought a home phone from an old phone, like we got a phone line added to our cell plan for our kids, so our kids don't have devices. And so we wanted to be able to leave. Our kids are just about that age where we can leave them at home.
Yeah.
And so we thought, like, well, worst comes to worst, we want them to be able to talk.
Your
to
oldest
and
is
call.
4. Yeah. You're right.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll be gone for 3 hours, kids. So yeah, and my wife's phone is pretty old. You've made fun of my phone. We both have the same iPhone 13 mini, and so she got a new one. So her phone still worked fine. The screen's a teeny bit broken. So we basically turned her phone into a home phone, and now I'm like, oh, we could have maybe bought an Apple Watch. That might have been an easier method. But I bought a flip phone recently. We've tried all kinds of things.
You bought a flip phone?
Yeah. Yep.
For
a track phone, flip phone, and we thought this will be great. It's a flip phone. It had a D-pad that would move a little mouse around. There's still a browser, still YouTube, all these little apps, and this little D-pad that you would move a mouse around. Yeah. And then the T9 buttons, like 555. It would try to get smart about what words you were trying to, but it was not smart at all. Yeah. And so that experiment lasted 2 minutes. And we're like,
I feel like you could get away with that with like voice recognition, like voice to text type stuff. Like they could get around that better with that feels more reliable. But yeah,
track phone doesn't know what that is.
Yeah.
That's
that would make it double the price probably. So $4. Well, what a detour that was. I'm sure our listener bar just went to zero during that conversation. You had a fun idea for this week's episode.
Yep.
Which was, did you want to talk about, you have an idea for a new segment. Did you want to do the new segment this time?
No, we're doing so great today.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did have this idea for something we could talk through. And really, the whole idea was there's all these like corporate buzzwords and bingo words and things that we all hate. And I was texting with some other buddies, and one of them said, "Oh, dude, shout out Garrett." He's like, "Dude, you should figure out what like if there's any correlation between how a company performs and the amount of buzzwords they use." And so then this is me using agentic AI and just really fun and exciting stuff. I basically said, hey, go off and look at the most recent earning calls for the top 50 tech companies. So largest top 50 most recent earnings calls, and then see if there's any correlation between performance and buzzwords. And I mean, so it's ChatGPT, so you take it for what it's worth, but there is absolutely a correlation. Interesting stuff that I found. Circle back. Let's table this and put a pin in it where the most hated. Generally speaking, everybody hates those phrases, but there is a correlation where the more often you hear the leaders saying those words in the earnings calls, the stronger correlation to the performance is worse. And they just use fluff words when the company didn't do great, which kind of makes some sense.
Negative correlation, right?
Right. Yeah.
Wow. So they were using those phrases on the earnings calls.
On the earnings calls.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's not a perfect. What I wanted to find out and see, and I'm sure I could play around with it a little bit, was, is there a regular kind of a trending correlation where more often they use it internally? Does that actually impact the business in a negative way? But basically, what the research, air quotes, research found was when they do poorly, they say those words.
Say the buzzword.
To just
that kind of makes sense, right? Like
yeah.
people know what this definition is, so they'll assign their meaning to it. That's good. I will say, at least from the ones I've literally used almost all of these in a work context. So from how I'm doing this, I don't think we should use these, but I can't really judge people for them because I have used them. I don't know if yours are the same.
I have used each of mine. So what we want to do, kind of the idea that we had for this is we each make our list of buzzwords that we use or know of, and then we tell the other person, and then you have to give a better definition of that or a use of that. And then we basically get to fight about it. And then I get to make fun of you for how often you use it and how many times you used it today, maybe, if we wanted to do that.
Oh, none of these today. Yeah, who's going first? Am I going first?
Sure, go ahead.
All right, this one I hate. I have used it once, and I told people that I just was having like a brain moment and couldn't think of another way to say it. One throat to choke.
Ooh. Why do you hate one throat to choke? Well,
I mean, why do I hate it? It feels very domestic violence-y.
There's... now when I play that question back in my own head, that's a dumb question. Yeah.
John's like, I love choking. What are you talking about?
The idea is one sole responsibility. Someone has to be the decider. Someone has to be...
and like a single point of accountability for, when you have, single contact, etc. So what's your alt?
Leader? Is that bad?
Okay, let's see. So you're like in a situation, they're like, hey, we have this project, Project X. John, who is the leader for Project X? I guess that kind of makes sense. Who's the leader for Project X?
It does come across as a little bit aggressive because you're like, why? Mostly like the times that I've heard that phrase or that buzzword used, I don't know, whatever, is when a manager or leader is trying to give responsibility to somebody else. They're like, hey, who's the throat to choke? Who do I go after when this thing doesn't happen?
Yes. Exactly.
And so then like there's a positive way of like, who's going to lead this? Who now I want to know why we like how that started. Like what's the genesis of that phrase? It is a pretty terrible phrase.
Well, when I also used I used Claude just to kind of ask it about like problematic phrases that are still in the workplace. And a lot of them, like rule of thumb and stuff, like they have very clear tiebacks to pretty problematic things in our history. So I don't know exactly what the like etymology or whatever the word is for when it's a phrase, but it feels like yikes. Like the first person who said this, like everybody in the room was probably like their jaws dropped, but now we just use it all the time. So they won. Leader. Yeah, that works. I will say, like, I hope never to use this again in a work context. When I have used it on myself, saying that like I am now the one throat to choke for this. So I have not assigned that to other people, which maybe is a little bit better. I can let myself off the hook a little bit. But yeah, yikes.
Yikes. Cool. Yikes is another one. I don't know if this is in the similar vein of just aggression, but punching above weight class. I hate that phrase. And I did use it this week. But I don't know that I like it.
How'd you use it?
You might have been on the call, but talking about how, I'd say like the general definition of the way that I use it, or way that I did use it, is you are able to do something against others you wouldn't necessarily need to compete with. And so you're punching above your weight class when you have tools, tech, advantage of one way or the other that others even larger than you wouldn't be able to accomplish or can't for whatever reason. So you have kind of attributed to this is going to let people punch above their weight class, was kind of the context in which I used it.
I don't think of that as a negative, I guess. That's interesting.
It's overused.
We must
you don't agree. Never mind.
Well, I don't hear it. I guess I don't hear it as often. When I think of it as like a positive, which is they're punching above their weight. Like this thing shouldn't really be able to do this thing, but it actually does it pretty well. And that's usually the context. I guess if I was doing it, it would be like maybe a surprising competitive advantage or surprising unexpected value, maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
To the credit of the phrase, it is a pretty succinct way of talking about what it's doing.
It's like a boxing kind of, it refers to a boxing, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. You ready for my next one?
Can't wait.
Okay. Look behind I've also heard peek behind or peek into.
I already know where
kimono.
this is going. I don't like this at all.
Kimono. Which feels like we should let this one go.
Just don't ever say it again.
Yeah, we shouldn't say it. Like, even on this, like in the context of this episode where we're talking about these things, it feels like a thing I didn't really want to say. It feels gross. Like, it feels like a thing you should definitely not use on a work call. You know, the roots go back to, I think, geishas in Japan and that sort of thing, which is, you know, a different culture. And there's probably some reasons why you should, you know, stick to cultures that you know more about. Because if you get called out on it, how are you going to answer it? But
clarifying question, maybe you don't know the answer. Is a kimono outerwear? Like, there's an implication of peek behind or whatever the phrase is.
Yeah, I think the kimono's
that's the whole outfit. There's nothing else. Like, they're naked under the kimono.
No, I think they've got stuff under. Yeah, I guess we need the visual dictionary for. Have you ever picked one of those up?
No.
It's like a handy tool for writers because, like, there are times where you're going to be writing about something that's kind of outside of your subject matter expertise, and there will just be like if you're writing about a ship, right? There's diagrams that like point out, oh, these are all the different parts of the mast, and not just like the ship itself, and so it gives you kind of that like fast reference. Yeah, we need that for a kimono. Either way,
don't like it.
Like, we shouldn't. I'm not going to use it.
Do you like how the sausage is made any better? Like,
it's very similar, right? Like, they're kind of referring to a similar thing. I actually don't hate that one as much. It's overused.
It's like,
I will
see
say
how
that
this
one
is
feels overused.
Yeah, maybe like the phrase is really like implying without any of the polish, without any of the fit and finish.
How a bill gets made. How a bill gets written.
Can you sing it for us?
Like the
Yeah. Come on.
I have a thing. I don't know if I feel like there are probably other people out there who have this where I do not hear music lyrics. Like,
I'm with you.
There are songs I've heard hundreds of times. You could not, for $1 million on the line on like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire or something, I wouldn't be able to tell you the music lyrics. But if you play like a part of it, I could, you know, get it from the melody and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the song, but the Stay With Me, that is the name of the song. I can't remember the name of the artist, but
even the names, they mean nothing to me because I
brought it up to a friend. I was like, dude, this is a great song. He's like, hey, you know, that's about like one night stands and just kind of sleeping around. And I was like, actually, no, I didn't know that. I had no idea. I was like, all right, never mind. I'm not into that song as much anymore. Not a helpful thing to share. He's like, maybe don't play that for your kids. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Do you know anyone that uses the phrase "let's go" or "let's effing go"? Like, just that hoorah type thing?
Yeah.
Do you hate it? It lets go because it feels like bro culture of like, oh yeah, you know, like in my head there's a let's go and then like two guys chest bump and I'm like, I'm out. I hate all of that. And it like, let's go to where? Let's go to what? What are you even talking about? It's just like this assumed and funnily enough, I said it the other day. That's why I made it on my list. I said it. And I don't know that I can say it's the first time that I've said it. Yeah. But I said it and I was like, ugh, what am I doing? And I was just like mad at myself. And I was like, all right, that's on my list of phrases that I hate because apparently I hate that one.
Did you play team sports?
No. Individual sports. Tennis, golf, cycling.
Golf. Oh, you play tennis? I play tennis.
I wasn't very good, but
I do think there is a part when you're in those kinds of activities that like you turn off maybe the self-conscious part of your brain to get in gear for that. And for that reason, I kind of think it might be useful, but it is a weird thing to type into a chat where everybody's remote. Right. Yeah. It's the very opposite of even a high five.
Yeah.
In the office.
What do you think about puts and takes?
Puts and takes. What is that?
Puts and takes, just like we're giving and getting from one another.
I don't know. Is that like a British thing? That sounds kind of British.
I don't know.
I have not heard that before.
Oh, but you have.
It sounds like Puss in Boots, like the Shrek thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
which is
it's
a
like,
great
I
movie, by the way.
Puts and Takes kind of sounds like a fake, like mouth, what do you call that? Like beat thing.
What? Oh, beatboxing.
Yeah, beatboxing. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Puts and Takes.
Funny.
Puts and Takes and Puts and Takes. Yeah, Puts and Takes. Yeah, I certainly don't use that. I don't think that, it doesn't seem problematic to me. I guess some of our lists are a little different, that they're not all problematic. They're just kind of buzzwordy. Yeah. So what do you, what's your alt for that one?
I don't know. I thought the game was you came up with it.
Puts and Takes. So it's like what you're kind of giving and taking from the
Yep.
highs and lows.
The context is like, here's a target we want to hit. Each one of us has to do something to get to that. What would I give up? So it's almost like a
What
like
are your trade-offs?
Yep. Trade-offs.
Refactoring.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, what trade-offs do you want to make?
Mm-hmm.
That's probably what I would say. Puts and takes.
Yeah.
I kind of like it in that context. Like that, honestly, like makes sense to me in that context. That might be a useful one. I'm going to use that. I'm going to write that down. Say it on a call.
That's what this is.
The next time you and I join a call together, I'm using that.
Yep, this is like
what are your puts and takes?
New game we're going to play. Every one of these phrases will get said in a call for every meeting.
Okay, I use this one a lot. I use it partly just to kind of like check to see who's up to date, up to speed on their 90s pop culture. If you build it, they will come. Mm-hmm. Which I think is, the idea that there's kind of this, if you do this thing kind of predeterministically, it will naturally draw customers or an audience or something. Mm-hmm. There's probably like an element of truth to the idea that if you build something, they will come. And certainly they can't really come if you don't build it. But I usually use it in the fact that it's kind of like a fallacy in logic that we shouldn't assume to be true.
Right.
Yeah. Do you hear that one often? Other than
I do.
With me?
It's probably the same. Other than when I tell you're doing something wrong. Yeah. There's probably like a similar demonstrate the art of the possible type idea of it, where you're just, hey, I'm going to show you what this thing could be, and what what your world could look like, and it'll be so much better that you'll come and use that instead.
Yeah. What would you use instead?
I don't know. So I was trying to think through.
If you make it, they will come. They'll arrive.
Yeah. I don't know if I have a good equivalent to that. There's a bit of this is the same type of thing, but like the Henry Ford, they would just ask for a faster horse sort of vibe to it, where the customer doesn't know what they want, and you have to demonstrate some of that. So I think that's where I at least fall into that trap. I don't know that I say that phrase, but I know that I behave in that way a lot. So I don't know if I would replace that phrase, or I just do it.
The horse one comes up. I feel like I've heard the horse one a fair amount recently, even.
But it's not even him, right? Isn't that not even something he said, Henry Ford?
Yeah, I don't know if it was misattributed, but it does seem like it's
Abe
kind
Lincoln.
of it's nice that I guess some of what we're talking about here is the fact that sometimes there's shorthand for things that we just kind of people gravitate towards, things that are more like a metaphor or analogy or simile, and that helps it go down easier, I guess, or understand it faster. But yeah, all right. I've got one that's kind of like a category, of ones, which is military type jargon. Like, I do use this one occasionally. I don't love it. Tip of the spear, but you've got all these other ones, like in sales especially. It's like in the trenches, war rooms. Like lots of companies use the war room phrase. I would even include Tiger Team, which I'm pretty sure the origin of that is the NASA Tiger Teams, like the ones that helped bring Apollo 13 back. What we do for software, maybe not the same as a Tiger Team of scientists at NASA trying to bring astronauts home.
What? How dare you?
Weirdly, I know, but like, yeah, we're a Tiger team because we try to sell this software to a segment of customers. But it does seem like it's kind of the same thing. The rah-rah thing of let's go is like, if we use this military terminology, like they all have a mission and there's like, they've got one focus and they're all together. No one leaves. No one's left on the battlefield type mentality that might be helpful. But as someone not on the sales side, maybe it, I find I don't really love them. How about you?
Well, I know that I use them a lot. Do you like Beachhead?
Well, I don't use that as much. Do you use that?
Yeah. Well, I use it because of crossing the chasm and that kind of strategy for growing in a market where you win in one niche. This is your beachhead. This is everything you go after. And then from there you expand. And I don't know if that's a military strategy played out in software development or not. But I know that I use that one a lot, and I kind of like it. I like it for that idea of what's your niche? What do you want to be the best at? And no one else is better than you at this specific thing. Yeah, and
kind of the same as moat, which is also kind of like a
Although moat's defensive,
tactic,
and beachhead is proactive.
Yeah,
which I like, which we've talked about.
Let's repeat that episode on this. We'll just
that's a good idea. That's cool,
start to finish.
Yeah, I have to leave in 13 minutes.
Super great.
This is super great.
Any others? Do you have any last ones you want to go through?
I have a bunch that I just know are there. This is a little bit like the kimono thing. We're like, let's all agree to stop saying long pole in the tent. Let's stop. Actually, the one that I really don't like is fly the plane while we build it, because it's so dismissive of a whole lot of things. Different.
It feels like a very personal hot take. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Different from, do we have a really clear execution path? Maybe not. Is it worth starting anyways? Sure. Like that, I hear that phrase used in that regard, and I'm okay with that. Like, no, like we know the general idea. We don't have everything well planned out and laid out, but we know that the direction is correct. We're going to get going. But that idea of like, I think what I hate about it, or what's frustrating, what makes it personal, is using it as an excuse to be operationally excellent is so lazy. Where you like, hey, are you actually trying to make this better? Oh no, we're just flying the plane while we build it, so we're just like doing well, like no, try to make it better. At some point, you have to work on the business, not in the business. Not to use more, jargon, but you have to make it easier to do what you're doing. Yeah, and if you don't, then, I don't know.
So you're saying people use it over broadly. You're not so much opposed to the idea that like of building a plane in the air while you fly it. It's more that people use it as more of a catch-all maybe than they should to describe situations that feel more people maybe should be on board for, just in terms of their risk assessment.
Yeah.
All right.
Man, see, this is what you're good at. You just take all my rambling and turn it into something really succinct.
That also felt like rambling. Lessons learned. John, did you have any lessons? You look like you learned a lot this week.
Did I learn a lot? So I am in a book club with some buddies, and we get together and just talk about different books and different stuff. And one of my friends said, hey, we're going to read this book. And I didn't even think of, like verifying what it is. But it's called Strength to Strength by Arthur Brooks. And the book is about what to do when you don't feel as valuable because you're getting old. It's like, oh, but what was really interesting, I'm only 2 chapters in, and I've liked it so far, but the idea of fluid knowledge versus crystallized knowledge, where fluid knowledge, like basically the thing that I learned, like when you're younger, you can actually learn and bring in more things, but it's not wisdom. It doesn't turn into wisdom. You don't know what to do with it until it becomes crystallized knowledge. And that there's actually, per industry, there are visualizations and basically data around, there's research around how many years it takes you to have done half of the contribution in your career, where half of your work is complete.
Okay.
And so, it's these two curves. Peak oil. Yeah. These two curves specific to your industry. So for tech, 20 years. After 20 years in tech, you will have produced half of what you will produce. So, which is a relatively normal bell curve, for what you're doing. Like you think started at 20, 40 years and in your 60s and that sort of thing. But others were like really, really short. And so you just like your crystallized knowledge starts much, much sooner. And you
like what?
I can't remember the other industries, but yeah, I read it legit this morning was what I was reading it. So yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Okay. I look forward to the follow-on lesson learned next
Teaching
week.
is the opposite.
Okay.
Teaching was the teaching you produce far more. Maybe that was the short one. I'm mixing up the data or mixing up how the curves would shape, but you produce far more value later in life as a teacher because your crystallized knowledge is higher. So you have more to teach, more to contribute, more to provide. And that's a part of, I'm 2 chapters in, but the lesson of the book is as you age, your value is in what you can share with others and share with the community. And so like historians, they often work far later into their career because they are much more capable of contributing.
Yeah. Do you think there's an association between that and like soft and hard skills where you're learning, you might be young in your career, have good soft skills, but you can't actually apply them in the way that you do later in your career to where they kind of net you out the better results?
Yeah, I definitely think that. I don't know how, but like that all makes sense. Like that has to be the case.
You could be an amazing communicator at like 26, right? But that's not going to pay the dividends for you at 26 early in your career that it will when you're 46.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And with the tech examples, they're basically saying most founders in tech are really young because of this, like what could be, and whether or not this is where the book goes, but the inference I got from it is like the world in tech is changing so fast that you need that sort of like, I don't know, what about this? What about this? What about this? But to make a business that runs and scales long term, you need the crystallized wisdom. You need the crystallized knowledge of older people. And then I'm sure a part of that is the soft skills that come along with that. And
sure.
Yeah.
Younger folks, you need us. You need us. Older folks.
You need Nate
please
in
continue
particular.
Using us.
Yeah, please hold me. Yeah, what did you learn?
Go. My lesson learned is from my oldest, who taught me something that, goodness, like there's all sorts of things that kind of prove that either we don't know this or we're just willing to accept ignorance on it. Bison and buffalo are not the same. So the logo.
Never mind, young people. You don't need us. We're learning so much.
This is what you come to your elders for.
Yeah.
Your like the Buffalo Bills logo is a bison.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so like the hump thing that you see on yeah, that's a bison, and buffaloes are kind of like the more cow-looking ones. So yeah, it was actually like Buffalo Bill and all that sort of stuff. Yeah,
Bison Bills.
And then I showed her because there's a buffalo wings restaurant in our area that we kind of like because it got vegetarian or vegan wings or whatever, and the logo is a bison, and it's called Heavenly Buffaloes as the restaurant. Shout out to Heavenly Buffaloes, they're okay. Go
to getinamarket.com/wings for 0% off.
0% off. Definitely, like it's a bison with wings attached to it. Because it's heavenly. But yeah, and it's wings, I guess. But yeah, not the same. So I learned that. That's always fun. How much fun, can I just say, is it to learn stuff from your kids and the excitement they get from learning you something is just like palpable. They just love like telling you something that you didn't know. And so that's always fun too.
Yeah. So that's happening more. I'd imagine with my kids being a little older, getting that more and more frequently than yours. Although maybe your children are teaching you things.
Hey, I'm learning long division again, so that's always fun.
Well, they changed how they do math. It's the worst.
Yeah. So we are here every Tuesday with new episodes. We've got a channel on YouTube where we post full video episodes sometimes, and we do shorts and stuff there. Yeah, so like and subscribe on either there or wherever you get your podcasts.
Do it. Good to see you, bud.
Good to see you too. Bye.
Thanks.